Hello, my name is Noah Anderson, and today I'll be presenting me and Luke's 330 and 391 final project. I'll start with some project details. We decided to do the wireless IP telephone project. We connected our two wireless networks that we had from the labs that we've been doing all semester. And from there, we built on CUCM connectivity, and then we connected the wireless phones to our wireless networks, and then they were able to reach our CUCMs. We utilized ESXi to manage our 9800 VWLC and our CUCM, and this is our topology. As you can see, we have eGrip going between our two routers, and then we have our routers connected to D1 switches. Originally, we were going to have two routers and two switches per side, but after talking with some friends, we realized that it would be simpler if we just condensed everything onto one router and one switch per side. And then D1 is connected to the CUCM and our VWLC. Our lightweight AP is also connected to D1, and that forms a cat-wrap tunnel to the WLC. And our phones are wirelessly connected to our APs.
Alright, so now we're going to be covering some important design decisions for the CUCM. So there's a few things you need to remember if you want to repeat this project or do something similar. So beginning with option 150, you need to make sure you have your DHCP option 150 set to the address of the CUCM. If you set it to any other IP address, it will not work. Your phones will not register. Next, when you configure the CUCM, you need to make sure you set up auto registration so your phones are able to register themselves automatically and get a number. If you don't have auto registration set up, your phones will never register. They will just spin forever. Lastly, you need to have voice over IP dial peer set up. As it says here, it's necessary to call across your network. So if you don't or call across networks, if you don't have it set up, you won't be able to replicate this project. You won't be able to call across your two separate networks. All right, so now we're going to be covering some important design decisions for our 9800 WLC, our AP, and then our IP phone as well. So I have about 4 things here. Firstly, the switch port that connects to the ESXi has to be a trunk. And then you need to allow all necessary VLANs across it. And then you need to do it on your 9800 as well. On the Gigabit 2 port. Gigabit Ethernet 2 port. So this is something that is super easy to mess up, because if you even have one incorrect VLAN, everything will just break basically. So you make sure you have all necessary VLANs allowed across your trunk. Save yourself the headache. So next, on the AP configuration page, you have one of the foundations the foundation for getting roaming to work is making a mobility group. So on your AP, make sure you create a mobility group. This will allow roaming to happen. It is a fundamental step to enable roaming. Next, the SSID must match for both networks you create. This is pretty self-explanatory, but it's more so important for the IP phones. So once you have your IP phones, you need to configure a TFTP address, and then this is where the SSID comes into play. You need to have the same SSID, but you also need to write or type that SSID into your IP phone exactly as you have it broadcasted from your AP. If you have it typed even slightly wrong, like if you have a capital letter, or whatever, like anything, your phone will not be able to connect to your AP, and it will just never register. So Yeah. So when you're configuring everything, make sure that you check these 4 things if you're having any issues. So next, we're going to be doing our live demo.
Real quick, I just wanted to show what the wireless IP phones look like when they're registered, because it's actually, the process is actually super similar to the wired IP phones. Okay, onto the live demo.
First, I'd like to show you our router config. As you can see, G00 is up, and we have our sub interfaces that are associated with the VLANs on the switch. As you can see, we're using the same IP addressing scheme as in the labs that we did in class. This is because that's what the server is looking for, so to change that would be a bit more difficult. Next, I'll show you our CU/CM console. So if we go to the phone and then hit find, we can see that our 7912 phone has auto registered with the CU/CM, and that is because if we go into network profiles and then view profiles and scroll down to our WAN, we see that it's connected to the employee 9 SSID, so it's talking with the CU/CM wirelessly. And now Luke is gonna give me a call as his phone is registered to my WLC, showing that layer 3 roaming works.
So, first things first, our APs. One has a blue light, meaning that both phones are associated to it. The other one is green. If we move over here, we can see that my WLC currently has 0 access points. My phone is not associated with it. So, we give Noah a quick call here. As you can see, despite the fact that it's not associated with my AP, I'm still able to place a call to him, and he's still able to pick it up, and we can talk to each other.